Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. This is Max. You are watching EquityMatch.co online live pitch event. As always, today we had 4 great founders coming from Europe, US, and Central South America. Before starting and before introducing our founders and investor guests, everyone wants to come to pitch. Please send your email to pitch@equitymatch.co and we'll be more than pleased to welcome you. We stream on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And if you want to raise any questions to your founder, just do it and we follow up with them. Now, as we start, I would like to introduce our investor guest today, Matteo Costa, angel investor. Matteo, thank you so much for coming, first of all. And if you want to give an introduction to yourself, please.
Absolutely. Thank you, Max, for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Matteo Costa. I am a corporate media executive. I've been most recently the vice president of marketing at Penguin Random House, which is the biggest publishing house, book publisher. I've worked in business development, marketing. In my previous life, I was a consultant, but specifically to angel investing, I started investing in early stage startups in the last 2 years. And I focus my investments in companies that have a positive impact on society. So I've invested in anything from food tech to sustainability to mental health. And I'm really happy to be here to hear all the pitches from all these founders.
Thank you so much, Matteo. Thank you very much for taking your time and come and stay with us today for 1 hour. As we start, I'm going to introduce our first founder, Dr. Yasmin Hussain, Director for Netec Creatives, headquartered in Manchester, UK. Education is the sector. Seed round is the investment round, and the ask is for 250, 500K in sterling pound. How's it going, Yasmin?
Hi, thank you, Max. Thank you for the introduction. Very well, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. If you want to give an introduction to yourself, we go straight to pitch, and after Matteo, we follow up with Q&A. Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Yasmin Hussain, and I am the founder of Connected Creatives Young Voices Matter. By way of introduction, I am an experienced and qualified educationalist, and I have worked in the education sector for over 20 years. One of my career highlights has been that I won the Queen's Award in the UK in 2020, which is the highest national recognition for one of my education projects. I am very passionate about making a difference in young people's lives, and that is where I would like to talk about Connected Creative Young Voices Matter, which is an EdTech platform. And you can also see the website for anyone who's interested, connectedcreatives.co.uk. I would like to start with the good news first, and that is that we have worked very hard with seeders, and we have secured a campaign to raise and via crowdfunding, and we are in discussions with potential investors, and we are also obviously seeking further lead investors, and that is the reason we are here today. So that's the good news. So what is Connected Creatives? Connected Creative Young Voices Matter is an EdTech platform. We are working with schools and teachers to allow young people to be creative and self-publish. And that can range from anything from short stories, graphic novels, poems, journals. The key thing that we have actually worked on is making sure that we provide young people a safe space to publish work. The platform is linked to Key Stage 3 and 4. So for anyone who's not familiar with that, is for pupils aged between 11 and 16. And we've designed it in conjunction with the curriculum, and we've ensured that all content is moderated before it is actually published. So to give you a bit of background in terms of why I designed the platform, one of my initial concerns was the low levels of literacy and how that impacts on young people and their performance in school. Ranging from underperforming not only in not in English or creative writing, but also in other subjects, which was due to the fact that young people were struggling with literacy. Not only are we interested in literacy, but we're also very interested in the notion that we want to provide young people a safe space to publish work. If you think about it, nearly all content for young people is created by adult authors, yet young people are incredibly imaginative, creative, and technologically savvy. And having gone through the COVID pandemic, we've actually worked very closely with the National Literacy Trust to look at the benefits of creative expression and how that improves mental health. So all of those things coming together to improve literacy by stealth, but ensuring that we're improving young people's mental health by allowing them and giving them a safe space to creatively express. So the solution is connected creatives, and to share also with you that the platform has been endorsed by Malala Yousafzai, who is the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner, and she campaigns hugely for young people's education. And she's also studied in the curriculum in school. So we launch an annual writing competition every year endorsed by her called the 500-word Malala Yousafzai competition. So the platform, just in summary, it's about improving literacy and creative expression to improve overall educational attainment and achievement, and by providing young people a safe space to create meaningful content and not just throwaway content, which other platforms lend themselves towards. And, you know, I don't want to kind of make the comparison, but young people are very au fait with the concept of creating content, but we are different in that we want to create content which is meaningful and has a purpose and a life. So the journey so far, I've kind of listed it. So we've worked with the National Literacy Trust to design the platform. We had a soft launch. We've had several iterations, and 2023 was a golden year for us. We actually won an Innovate UK grant, and anyone who's actually worked with Innovate UK will appreciate how difficult and competitive these grants are. And we also secured an Arts Council grant. We are now working with Seeders, and so the idea is that we will run our campaign in Q1. So this, the request is time sensitive, and by September this year, we will start to implement a subscription model on the platform. This is kind of giving you an overview of the business model and forecast. And from my background, these are very conservative figures. So we're starting off with 100,000 users growing each year. By the end of year 3, we will have a revenue of 7 million with a profit of 5.5 million. Just about me, you can look me up on LinkedIn for the purpose of time, but as I said, I've worked in the education sector. I've launched many competitions and have had very high profile endorsements for those. And by way of also concluding that, I won the Entrepreneur of the Year award in 2012. The way the funding will be spent is we're seeking an investment of between 250k and 500k, which is also eligible for the SEIS and EIS. But I've kind of listed one of our key priorities is gamification and AI. And as well as making a platform which is engaging and improving other functions. Why invest? Well, EdTech is actually the fastest growing sector. You will be investing in something that has credibility in terms of myself, but also the grants that we've actually secured and where we are in terms of the Seeders campaign as well. And I can take questions as and when.
Thank you so much, Yasmin. Matteo will follow up soon. Thank you, Matteo.
Of course. Yasmin, thank you so much for the presentation. I think this is like a very interesting idea. It's a noble purpose, obviously. And funnily enough, in my previous job with Penguin Random House, the publisher, we did explore as part of the internal accelerator we did explore a very similar idea, focused on graphic novels, but same age range, with the idea of supporting those kids in their creative outlets and publishing their own work. So I found a lot of similarities, and actually my questions are somehow in line with that experience. The first one, which I've been missing from the deck, is what is your go-to-market plan? Like, how are you planning to? You said that you're targeting basically teachers and librarians. What does that look like? Are you partnering with the government? Are you partnering, for example, are you planning to partner with a publisher, which we, as a personal experience, we developed internally. So I think they would be, and they obviously have those relationships with schools and teachers and librarians. Are you planning to have sales force to go school by school and sell the idea? How are you planning to attack the market?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. I think because I have worked in the sector for 20 years, I've actually designed initiatives for the government. So I'm connected to the 4,000 secondary schools, so 4 million secondary school pupils in the UK, because this is kind of what I've done for the last 20 years. And so the route to market, and as well as that, we've designed the platform with the schools and the pupils. So I didn't kind of want to design something and then take it to schools, because I think a lot of founders make that mistake. So we co-developed the platform with schools and with the young people in mind and with the teachers. And again, I work with the National Literacy Trust, so I have access to 12,000 teachers via their network. So the route to market is very easy for us, as as a founder. It's kind of what I've done. I've designed innovative projects, and I think I kind of talked about the Queen's Award, and that on the back of sort of my experience, we won the national award because we were so embedded and ingrained within the school's network. And just I want to touch on your point also about the graphic novels. The reason why we have different outlets and not just writing stories, for example, but having graphic novels, a lot of research has shown that young boys basically don't engage in the same way. So we've actually we're ensuring that we have different outlets and it's an inclusive platform.
Yeah, we actually, that was exactly the same insight that we started the whole idea from. So it's very aligned. One just short follow-up comment. I would encourage you to add that piece of information about go-to-market, like the fact that you have connections, the fact that like you develop the product and the platform together with the teachers and the pupils is very important, because not only it's because I asked, but like it's definitely like a validation element in the pitch deck, or in the presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah. The second question is, like, I'm curious how you landed on the pricing on the $25 per pupil. And the reason why I ask is because what we landed on instead was not a per pupil pricing, but it was a per school pricing, depending on tiers. Obviously, if a school has 100 versus 1,000, there's a different pricing. So that would allow, and we did some research there, that would allow to kind of be easier to like deploy and to sell. So I'm just curious, like, what was your thought process to land on that pricing?
Yeah, so that was in consultation with the teachers and the National Literacy Trust, and that seemed to be, and we also compared it with other similar edtech platforms. When I say similar, similar in terms of the education resources, not similar as in what we're actually doing. And so other platforms have a subscription of something like £11 per month. And if what we're trying to do is encouraging people to be creative, we didn't want to create a barrier which was a cost barrier. And so all the feedback that we've had is that £25 annually is quite relatively on the low side and affordable for schools. And in the UK, for example, we also have the pupil premium, which schools can tap into. And so having a model which is based on pupils and not a school, class sizes vary, for example, and so we wanted a model that was reflective of schools and classrooms and year groups, for example.
Got it. Thank you for that context. I don't know what we're doing on time, but I have one final question, which is, have you thought, it seems to me that it's kind of like a B2B play, meaning that you go through institutions. Have you considered the B2C route at all, like going through parents for their kids? Reason why I ask, again, it's because that was our business model, or part of the business model for the graphic novel app. So I'm just curious if you even consider that.
Yeah, I mean, long term, that is an option for us. But I think because I am so well ingrained within and embedded within the schools, that is a quick, easy win. And we've developed it. So having an additional and things like other edtech platforms have that option as well with teachers and parents. But we already have the school buy-in. And I think one of the things I didn't mention in the platform, but it was obvious in one of the slides, is that when we've tested the platform, we've had over 10,000 children and young people use the platform. So, going through, schools is a lot easier, but also to mention the moderation element. So once a school has access to the platform, the teachers can allow parents to join the community as well.
Got it. Makes sense. Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you so much, Matteo. Yasmin, stay, don't go. We are all back soon. Meanwhile, I'm moving to a second founder. We had the two co-founders today with us, so I'm very happy. Martin Sichman, founder of SPEARhydro. Michal Kovacs. I hope Michal, the surname has been okay. Co-founder of SPEARhydro. Headquartered in Slovakia. Renewables and environment is the sector. Investment round is a seed round, and the ask is €500,000 euros. How's it going, guys?
It's great, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. If you want to give both of you a short intro, and after Martin, please go straight to pitch, and Matteo will follow up with the Q&A. Thank you.
So my name is Martin Sichman, and I have like 20 years of experience in designing sustainability and some architecture and energy. And together with Michael, we will introduce to you our invention that is patented, and it's a power plant that you can put on a river anywhere and start producing electricity.
So I will just add to it that I'm more of the business guy with experience from corporate through government and education /innovation. So Martin, take us through it.
Okay, so all of us understand that renewable energy is the future. There is no other way to build a sustainable civilization. Hydro energy is the best because it works 24 hours a day, is stable and predictable. Wind and solar are also good, but they work less than 30% of the time. Traditionally, for hydro, you need a huge infrastructure like dam, and which is an ecological and economical nightmare. Free-flow systems are the future. However, until now, all these solutions face major problems with clogging and high maintenance cost. We solve this problem. We developed and patented a free-flow system which you can anchor in the city center and start producing hassle-free renewable energy. A plug-and-play energy solution for any riverside project able to turn any existing anchored pontoon into a power plant. Our technology converts waving motion of fins into rotation, which is then used to generate electricity in a standardized wave. Fins have large effective area and move slowly, so they don't pose no danger to wildlife, and they don't get clogged or damaged by debris, unlike rotational turbines. We certified our system power output at Hans Schickard Research Institute in Germany. Single SPEAR unit produces 15 kilowatts, which means it can power roughly 10 households. Testing in real-life condition with Slovak Academy of Sciences proven that technology can withstand debris impact and can produce electricity. Our technology is protected since 2017. The US patent was granted in 2019, and EU in 2023, and UK will follow in 2024. We are a European-based company based in Slovakia. The core team consists of technical people like me with hydro experience, and my co-founder Michael, who has extensive experience in business and regulatory affairs. We are proud to work with strong R&D and manufacturing partners with long-term international shipbuilding experience. We have two key customer groups. Riverside real estate developers who want to power their buildings, and second, port operators and vessel owners who want to use SPEARhydro as an add-on to power their anchored assets directly from the river beneath. TAM for SPEAR is estimated at 54 billion. Our go-to-market strategy is aimed at Rhine-Main-Danube waterway in Central and Western Europe, which is worth about 52 million. Free-flow market is growing. We are competitive in terms of price per installed kilowatt, but most importantly, we believe all rotational solutions offered by our competitors will clog when operated on real rivers for a longer time. We won't. In addition to it, SPEAR offers 60 square meters of deck space for commercial and public use. We will start with our 5 customers in CEE who are ready to demonstrate the technology with us and have signed LOIs. Our unit selling price is 143,000 euros. The ROI for our customer is 9 years, and the lifespan of our product is 25 years, during which time it will generate over 800,000 euros for its owner. We are B2B and we will sell the product. Later, we plan to license it worldwide. We expect break even in year 5, in which point we will seek the early acquisition by a shipbuilding or utility company. So currently we are fundraising 500K to optimize the technology and finalize it and build the first pilot deployment here in Bratislava. Thank you very much and see you on board.
Thank you so much, Martin. Matteo, please.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Contrary to the previous one, this is like way out of my expertise, and it's incredibly technical. So forgive me if I ask any obvious or dumb questions. But
go ahead.
I'll start from the more, I guess, technical / it's more of a curiosity. I remember there was a number you estimated how many kilometers that you were, because my first question, like beyond that number, is like how many rivers, because you started from the Danube, but like how many rivers are big enough, for that? Because I had no idea of the dimension of the product, like how many rivers are usable for that purpose. And you have the kilometers, but I guess my more specific question is like how many kind of like cities, or how many you have the vessels, but how many houses or cities are you planning to tackle with this technology? Because I think you mentioned like 15 kilowatts is like 10 houses. I don't know if this technology is possible to deploy in a city like New York, because like there's not, you should like either you should have the river filled up with those, or like be outside of the city. So I'm just curious about like how many, what are the numbers of like cities and residential areas and houses that you think you can tackle with your product?
So since this is a hardware, we go a little bit slower than like applications and so. So currently the first step is Bratislava, Vienna, and Budapest, which are huge capital cities that are very close to us. They have Danube River, which is fast and big enough. So this is our like a first market that we want to tackle, because it's our homeland and we are very agile here. Then we estimate about 50 to 100 cities in Europe. And overall, like worldwide, it's thousands of cities. The requisite, what we need in order to be able to deploy is depth and speed. So the depth of 2 meters, for example, is normal navigable river. So like basically, if you have barges on your river, we can deploy there. And in order to be effective and produce enough energy, we need speed. So, for example, maybe Thames is interesting because it goes forth and back. London is very interesting for us, but the speed is the biggest question. Like if the water flow is above 1.5 meters per second, is good for us, and we can go there.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
If I may add to it, is just you have like more than 2 million kilometers of rivers around the world, and with the help of one well-renowned consulting company, we did this estimate on how many places you can actually position the SPEAR unit. And this was done through satellite imagery. And we extrapolated actually the number that if you have a river that fits this criteria and you can place so many deployments, then extrapolated to the whole Earth, there will be that many places with some degree of certainty. And the whole vision of our company is to transform all the floating assets, all the restaurants, or the pontoons, or the berths that are already existing in all the cities that are situated on rivers into energy producing active hubs. So basically, we are in an existing business. You already have these structures, and we just need to add on the SPEAR unit, and it will transform the passive asset into an active.
How big is it? Again, I go back to my question. Like, how many? Yeah, how big is it? The dimensions.
The product that we are currently developing and we want to deploy in Bratislava is 20 meters long and 11 meters wide. So it's relatively small, but the technology is capable of scaling. So we can go up. Like, first we were developing a product that was 70 meters long and it was generating 180 kilowatts, which is way more. And it offers, we can scale it anywhere how we want.
Got it. Thank you. The other question that I had was more on the pricing or monetization model. Like you said, you price it as 143 with a 23% margin, if I'm not mistaken, right? Does that mean that the product, like the cost of producing it or to putting it together, manufacturing, is around 110,000?
Yeah.
Okay. So how does it work? Like, do you have the customer or the government or the city, whatever, pay in advance to find, because it's a very capital intensive business, right? Like, so are you planning to have the customer pay in advance or the biggest chunk of it? At some point towards the end, you mentioned debt. Like, how are you planning to scale up production?
Maybe this is a question for Michael.
Yeah, yes, of course. So if you are asking about the later game, then obviously if once we prove the product and all the hypotheses, this will become a standardized product. And in this industry, it's very common to pay like 50% upfront, and you have institutions that can help you with this. If we are listed as a device, as a power plant basically that generates renewable electricity, the utility companies have actually the obligation to buy electricity from you. So you are in a very safe space that like also banks and other institutions can lend you money to acquire this product because they have the guarantee that this will not be only a sitting floating device, but it will generate additional income. And actually talking about the platform that can be used for parks, for cafeterias, for additional photovoltaics on the deck. So we really want to use the space that the device creates on the water, the additional space.
I don't know how we're doing on time. I think that's it, Max, or?
If you want one more, and after we go.
Well, it's more of a comment than a question, because like the reason why I asked that is because like you're raising 500,000, which I know it's like very much in line with European standards, but sometimes here in the US, when you throw that number, they laugh at you. So because I feel like your type of like product, especially if it's like used for the production or for the manufacturing, should like raise a lot more. And even if the 500,000 is like dedicated to the pilot development, you know, the next raise is like 4-something million. And so I was wondering if that money was used to like, you know, manufacture, but you already answered that question because it's like, you know, between 50% advance and then loans. So it was kind of like already answered. Or unless I misunderstood.
No, I just want to add to it that we need this 500,000 to demonstrate with our first customer. They are obviously like we are very early on, so they don't have these guarantees that this will work. So that's why we need venture capital to allow us to deploy, and then the customer is willing to pay for the product.
Good job, guys. I like it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Martin, Michal, and Matteo. I'm moving to fund number 3, Amit Sikdar, CEO of Hush, headquartered in California. Social media seed around 750K is the ask. How's it going, Amit?
Good. Hi, Max. Hi, Matteo.
Thank
You
for
for inviting
coming.
Hush to this platform to share.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Please give an intro to yourself, your
So for
pitch,
personal
and
introduction,
Matteo will follow up.
yeah.
Thank you.
So for the personal introduction, I used to be an aerospace engineer who turned to business and digital data services early on, and since then have built and led data science teams, analytics and engineering teams in several industries like luxury cruises, media and entertainment, and e-commerce over last 17 years. I also had a previous startup back in India that I had founded and which paid for my MBA, by the way, and I sold it to my partners before I moved to the US. So that's about me. Let's talk about Hush. So most of us had moments where we wanted to say something against a popular opinion, wanted to seek advice, or just needed to vent. But you kept those thoughts, questions, and feelings bottled up for the fear of being judged or ridiculed if shared on public social media platforms or in real life with your family and friends. Or you are simply a user who is fed up of growing influencer culture and the accompanying issues such as entitlement and risky antiques in search of followers like eating Tide Pod trend, right? So now that's where Hush comes in. We don't require you to sign up with an email or phone number. You can download the app and just start engaging with other users. Once in the app, you can choose to provide few generic details, but it is completely optional and none of the information can be uniquely tied to your real identity. So simply put, on the Hush app, users stay completely anonymous to each other while interacting locally or globally via posts, replies, DMs, and groups. And as there is no concept of followers, there is no mad rush to win a popularity contest. So nothing risky is going on. So where are we at this moment? We launched 11 months ago and since then have acquired 110,000 users from 150 countries without any paid marketing, all organic growth. Our average engagement time is 1 hour per monthly active user. And as you can see, a lot of activity is happening on the platform. Right now, we are on iOS and Android and have plans to launch a web version as well. Now, all this is fine. You will say all this is fine, but are we making money? The answer is yes. We are generating revenue through ads covering 100% of our infrastructure costs and then some. We have completed first phase implementation of the second revenue stream. Second phase is underway, and we have plans to introduce several more as the user base keeps growing as we have listed here. So with all these revenue streams, what are we working towards? Our goal is to grow to 50 million monthly active user, generating 35 to $40 million in ad revenue alone by the end of third year. And it's a realistic goal in terms of what has been achieved in the past, the tools we have at our disposal now, and the new geographies we plan to target that were not targeted before. Now, a quick look at the team. I'm Amit Sikdar, and this is my co-founder, Amit Mishra. We have experience in digital data services and large-scale, low-latency, high-concurrency software development. We have been friends for past couple of years and have worked together on several projects. And finally, the ask. We are raising a seed round of $750,000 to aggressively increase our market reach and ramp up our technical capabilities, which should allow us to reach this goal that we have on the screen. As you can see from the proposed breakup of fund utilization, there is a heavy emphasis on marketing as user awareness is what we lack at the moment. Through numerous user interactions, we have found that in most cases, users download the app and give it a try when they get to know about it. And that's what we are trying to work on more and more. And hence the investment in the marketing from to get the word out. So that's all. Thank you so much. And now let's open for questions.
Thank you, Amit. Matteo will come. You're muted, Matteo.
My bad. Thank you for the presentation, Amit. So I have a couple questions. The first one is like very basic. I am still not clear from your presentation, what is the goal of this app? Like, what is the purpose? What is the use case? What are people gonna go? I understand that there's no email, no gender, no age, but like, what are the people doing there? I saw like this chat and posting, but like, what is the ultimate goal? Why would people go there? Why do we need another social app? I guess is my question.
So why do we need another social app? Because we are saturated with public social media platform, and when I say public, is where you present yourself. You doll yourself up in a more presentable fashion. You laugh for the camera. You laugh for your followers, because you know that like maybe you can become a influencer or something like that, or just to show off to your friends and family. But that's not where you really share what actually is going on in your life. For example, you have some mental health issues going on. You are fed up with your job. You are upset with your boss. You have some personal issues going on family. These are not the things that people like to post on public social media platform, because that would not give off the vibe that you want to present to the world. So you put on that mask and you present yourself on the public social media platform. Here, anonymity frees you from that mask and allows you to present what is actually on your mind. So if you look at our app, people have been venting about all sort of situations. People have been asking for advice for the situations that they are usually hesitant to ask about in general from friends and family. And as an unintended consequence, with our local section, we have a local section where you can filter the post from 5 mile radius to 150-mile radius, 4 levels. So people actually have been chatting and anonymously connecting. And because you are anonymous, you tend to share more, you open up more, and people have been clicking and meeting in real life, which was an unintended consequence. So that's what the app is about.
Okay. What about Reddit? Reddit is anonymous. You can like post on it.
Reddit is
Whatever goes
pseudo
through.
anonymous. So Reddit has
Pseudo-anonymous,
three
sure.
problems. One, it asks you for your email for verification. Second, the world of Reddit is group centric. To post anything on Reddit, you have to be member of a group. We have groups concept, but it's an option. You can post as an individual or you can become part of a group. So the group centric part is another problem with Reddit. Third problem with Reddit is focused more on the long form content. People like to write stories over there. They don't just go to vent like a small tweet sort of anonymity kind of thing that, hey, I'm feeling today blues, send me some memes or gifs of your dogs or your pets. They usually go there to write long stories or long confessions and things like that.
Okay. The other question that I had is, because it's you according to you is like free to post whatever you want, unfiltered content. As we know, like one of the big issues these days is like content monitoring and how do you monitor free expression? How are you planning to solve for that? Like threats, racism. I mean, we know what happened to Twitter, especially because advertising is your main source of revenue. How are you planning to tackle that?
So that's where I had mentioned that we now have the tools that didn't exist till a couple of years back. For example, all the large language models. And since I have a background in data science, so I had a special interest that with the help of large language model, there are a lot of cheap APIs available, which help you with the content moderation part. And as we have been generating for the past 11 months, we have generated a lot of our own data. We can fine tune those LLM models on our specific data, and accordingly we can moderate. We already have admin panel and everything set up through which we do content moderation. We have a AI based API enabled as the first line of moderation, and for the second line of moderation we have human moderators who review the second line of content.
I would definitely add that to the deck because investors are going to be very, very interested in, or if not concerned of that. I mean, I think
Makes
that
sense.
would be like one of the first questions that they ask you, given the times we live in. The last question is, I was a little bit confused by your numbers, by your projections, especially given like the benchmarks that you provided, like companies from 2013, 2014, now dead, only getting to 10, 12, 20, 30 million monthly active users. You're planning to get to 50 in 3 years. However, in 1 year, you only get to 1 million. So we're talking about hockey stick here. How much money do you need? Are you planning to spend to acquire all those users? And granted, there's like, a virality element, there's like word of mouth and everything. That can turn out to be a lot of money.
Yes. So there are two parts to it. So for the first part, in social media platform, there is the network effect, right? that once you hit a critical mass, then the ball starts rolling on its own and keeps getting bigger and bigger. Second part that I had mentioned, that we are planning to target geographies which were not targeted by these previous apps, and that is specifically around South Asia, and being from India, India especially, where we can try to follow a WhatsApp kind of business model. WhatsApp reached such kind of user growth and such kind of valuation because it focused primarily on India and got a lot of users from there. Now, for the expense part, user acquisition in India is comparatively cheap. For $1, I can acquire 3 users in US, or I can acquire nearly 12 to 13 users in India because of the difference in user acquisition. And in India, compared to US, people like to share more in terms of the apps that they've been using, and they are more open to using new social media app with the availability of cheap internet and cheap mobile phones and a large young population. So, for example, we have already got permission from one of the big colleges in India, which has 50,000 students, that we are arranging a competition there. Now, the cost of the competition will be very low, but at the same time, with the model of the competition, we will be gaining access to at least 100,000 new users because of that. So that's what we are trying to do. We are not only trying to spend money on paid marketing part, but we are trying to use some of it in terms of organic marketing, which will lead to viral effect, as you mentioned.
Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matteo. Thank you, Amit. Amit, stay. We are very soon back, but before I'm moving to our last and of course not the least founder, Santiago Moncada, CEO of RASCHGO Inc., headquartered in New York, USA, entered the marketplace, seed round $500,000, between half and 1 million in USD. How's it going, Santiago?
Hi, Maximilian. Thank you so much for the invitation for this event and
Thank you
taking
for coming.
on RASCHGO with you. Nice to meet you again, Matteo. Well, let me introduce myself, guys. I'm Santiago Moncada. I'm a lawyer and a business manager with an LLM in intellectual property. I have been working with more than 10 years in private corporate sector. I have a restaurant chain in Colombia with my co-founder, and we are still entrepreneurs right now. So that's what we're doing, and RASCHGO is our new baby growing up right now. So everybody, welcome to RASCHGO, the new marketplace area, always ready for you. RASCHGO has figured out that the market has several problems right now. First of all, it's time constraint. Customer doesn't have enough time for finding a table, finding a good restaurant, or waiting for a food service. Also, delivery delays. Right now, the delivery service has to figure out different problems with traffic jams, restaurant preparation time, or even a co-location of orders in 2 or more with just one delivery guy. Quality and freshness. The customer is not receiving proper and fresh meals because of the delivery delays or delivery time. Also, high cost for final customer because of the delivery fees and the extra fees that they have for the final for the commerce and for the different type of part of the process. Inflexibility, that the actual market is not taking into account the customer that is already moving around the city, that actually is a real customer and has a real need. And the empty tables, because restaurants doesn't have the customers back to the table, they just have sales, but they don't have the back to the tables. And RASCHGO is the solution for that. We do delete the delivery costs. We will bring back the customer to the tables. It's an app that is adapted for the customer location and arrival time. So it's going to be always measuring the time and the distance of the customer to the final destination in order to avoiding the waiting time. They will spend the waiting time in the traffic and in the moving time that they are already using and they're already spending, in order to always have fresh and proper meals just when they arrive, either for takeout or dine-in. And we will delete the intermediaries. It's just being one-hand products between the commerce to the customer. RASCHGO is our product. It's an app that has a synergy with the public transport system and local governments in more than 7 different countries. We have a distance measuring full time with the customer since the purchase to the deliver to the customer in the destination point. We have also a PS integration and automation that comes with a dynamic catalog that is going to be measured all time for the customer in order of their distance and their arrival time. Also, we will be featuring all time the arrival time for the customer, in order to have a cost and operational reduction for the commerce and also for the customer. Our market size, taking account that the agreement that we already have is based between USA, European Union, and Middle East, has a budget of 751.48 billion for 2028, with a 10.9 growing rate that is divided between the grocery delivery. Is going to be 577.2 billion, and for the meal delivery, there's going to be 174.2 billion by 2028. Our market adoption is based on white-collar customer between 25 to 50 years old, male and females, employees and students, single or married people, with a minimum income of $25,000 per year. And the customer behavior is a customer that is on the move around the city, a customer that with a product consumption need with no waiting time available for them, and a customer that doesn't find a market fast and convenient solution for them. Focus are again in North America, European, and Middle East for now. Our market fit, we have already more than 7 government alliances to implement RASCHGO, 2 MVP cities under development right now, and more than 1,000 B2B commerce acquisition at the moment. Our revenue model is based, first of all, in the sales commission that is going to be between 5 and 10% per sale, and advertisement inside our app, and 1.5 of inside sales using RASCHGO as a POS system, and data analytics that we are already using on. Our main competitors, we have Uber and Just Food in Europe and different like Globo or others, but all of them are not focused on the customer of the people that is moving around the city. We do. They are not delivering fresh and proper food. We do. They are not measuring distance and arrival time as we do, but they do have delivery costs and we don't have it. They do have high integration with the POS system, but they don't work as a POS system as well as we do. And they are not that easy to implement around the globe as we do. Right now, we are looking for $500,000 with a $5 million valuation. Is going to be spent for sales enforcement and the development of the different cities that we already have in contract with. And our team is initially with our founder, that is Michal. He's an industry engineer with more than 10 years in experience in corporate finance, myself that I already presented. We have both together a restaurant chain in Colombia and different business. We have an in-house development team based in Argentina and in-house marketing team based in Colombia right now. So thank you so much, guys, for having us today. If you have any further questions, you can contact us at RASCHGO.com, info@RASCHGO.com, or our social media. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Santiago. Mateo, please.
Thank you for the presentation, Santiago. Let me see if I get this straight. Like, you're basically an app that allows people to pick up food instead of being delivered. So the idea is for people to pick it up at the restaurant while they're on the go.
We have 2 options. We have 2 options. The main is for takeout, that is the pickup, or for dine-in. So you can select from your, I don't know, you are located in New York right now. So imagine if you're in Central Park, Middletown, and you go down to Times Square. If you go to Times Square, you're going to select Times Square as a location. It's going to show you all the restaurants around Times Square. It's going to measure all the time that you have and the distance that you have, and go to show you all the plates available for your arrival, either for takeout or dine-in.
Okay. So I understand the technology to optimize based on time, what is ready, all these bells and whistles, but like the existing delivery apps like DoorDash or Grubhub do already offer like a pickup option. So now if I'm home, I can, if this is like the use case, I can go and select the restaurant and like pick up the food from there. So I'm not sure how you're like different from them.
Okay.
Beyond this preparation
the difference is we'll taking all the track of the customer going to the final point of destination, and it's going to be a smart. Our code is smart in order to place the order instead of just one entry and one out is going to be placed for the restaurant or for the commerce, in order for taking the preparation time and taking in count the time of the arrival of the customer. So they will always be fresh and proper meal to be delivered when you arrive, either for dining or takeout. And the second good point is we are going to fill up the table for the restaurants that are not filling right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just like struggling to see like a huge use case for that, because again, like I can time my arrival for the pickup accordingly, and even if it's like 5 minutes late. My point is that like having an additional app, and so I get to my second question, like how much money are you planning to spend? Because you put the ask there to like put your name out there and compete with all these apps, and like for a use case that is like very, very specific, and the audience is arguably not the, you know, like I think you had a slide on the audience, but it's not the people who dine out, who get the delivery, which is like the big advantage of the delivery apps. It's like a very specific urban on-the-go audience. And so I do wonder how many of those people really need an application that times their meal perfectly and have a specific app for that. Did you do any like a customer research on that?
Yeah, like our focus customer is a customer that's already in the move. Like we initially started with the public transport system. We have an agreement with the MTA and the CTA in Chicago as well, and also in different cities in Europe. And the main customer is a customer that is already in the move and doesn't have enough time to take a lunch, or doesn't have enough time to wait for the order, or have a line in the restaurant. So we're focused on that type of customer that is already in the move from the city.
But there already are the apps that do that. Like, sure, it's not timed perfectly, but you already can pull up an app and say, I don't have time, I'm going to pick up the food. That's my point.
Okay, no, yeah. I mean, there is existing, it's not the main focus of them, but there's an existing option for them as well in GrowHub or DoorDash for them. But we will figure out, and we will just target the customer, and we expand the whole process just to target the customer and just to get close to the customer, in order to be reimbursable and to be an option more efficiently and more profitable for them.
Okay. Last super quick question that I asked also, Yasmin, at the beginning, like you said you're going through, government or city government. What is your go-to-market strategy? Is it like purely through public transportation? Is it like advertising and promoting to restaurants and bringing them on board? What is your plan there?
Yeah, right now we have more than 7 different countries that we have already an agreement with the governments and public transport systems of them. So initially we launched for public transport system users as a hand-in-hand contract with them, in order to be advertised inside the public transport system, in order to be an option for them. Just when they go out of the public transport system, it's going to be the option for them. And then we plan to expand to other type of movement, but it's already available in the app, but they initially target just for the public transport system users. So that's why we have an agreement with some governments and some public transport system around those cities.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much, Mateo, as well.
Thank you, Santiago.
Thank you, Santiago. Thank you, Mateo. Before we are moving to the last part of our event, it is one question coming from the audience. I'm bringing the question. This is, I think, is for you, Amit. So, Karim, if you can bring Amit to the screen, please. And how you ensure safe environment in that, not rushment insult.
Yeah, so
Mateo already asked you.
Yeah, we have have use cases of these where we have to penalize users or do account bans. So as we mentioned that we have a machine learning based model doing a first round of review of all the post replies that is being made. And at the second time, we have given our users enough control to flag any sort of posts and reviews and replies. So we act very fast on the user complaints, and we have been banning accounts which are found in violation of our policies or trying to bully others, or we have been like penalizing them through deduction of our social currency in app, which we call quids. So these are the 2 mechanisms we have been following for now.
Thank you, Amit. As you are there, Amit, you will be the first one to deliver your best elevator pitch to Matteo, to all our audience. Everyone is watching today the event. Starting from you, Amit. Why invest in your startup in 20 seconds? No more.
Our growth so far, and given that we are already revenue generating and kind of profit making, makes us a strong contender for the investment. That's what I can say in a succinct manner.
Thank you, Amit. Santiago.
Thank you, Mr. Millennium. RASCHGO is the new solution for the customer that is already in the move. So it's a customer that deserves to have a better quality and fresh products for them, with a quality and not high price as is usually going on with all the competitors. So RASCHGO is the best way to pay in the market right now in order to fill up all the needs of the customer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Santiago. Martin.
So we all know that humanity needs renewable energy. It's like no way about this. And there is only so much solar power panels that you can put on your roof. So we have to use all the possibilities that we can. And we are only, I think, currently available and patented and commercially viable solution for rivers that is really plug and play and easy to use.
Thank you, Martin. Yasmin.
Hi, so I'm an educationalist, so I'll sum up by saying if you're passionate about social impact and making a difference in the lives of young people, then this is the opportunity. You will be joining the investment round with other investors and with the backing of crowdfunding.
Thank you so much, Yasmin. Matteo, as we are very close to the closing, do you want to give any more feedback to the funders, any whatever you like?
No, I think I asked all the questions. I think you guys are all doing great work in your respective domains. So keep pushing. That's my only piece of advice.
Thank you so much, Matteo. Matteo, Santiago, Martin, Yasmin, Michal, and Amit, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And for everyone who wants to get in touch with our funders, you can go straight directly to them. We don't charge any form of success fee running our events. So you can get in touch with them. You have all the information as we get to you. Or you can come to us and we're more than happy to make a warm introduction. Email to contact@EquityMatch.com. You can watch the recorded video on our YouTube channel as all the others previous 92 pitch events. And again, thank you to everyone and see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.